Hello and welcome to May Psychosomatic Conversations. Thanks everyone for coming. Today's session, we are looking directly at the body. When I say directly at the body, we're looking at the physicality. We're looking at how we experience our bodies, how we relate to our bodies, and how our bodies communicate to us. So we're going to do some practical exercises with the body. When I say exercises, I don't mean we're going to get up and do star jumps. We're going to be doing some practical exchanges to enhance the relationship with your physical body. So you and your body is something that transports you through life, safely through life. And when the body itself becomes the home or the temple or the point of origin in which we relate to ourselves, we come down to reality, we come down to all things earthly bound, we come down to the definitions that take place as the exchange of being a spirit in a body. And today, I'll be leading you through a body awareness. And then Christy is also going to deliver some exercises. And then Linda's also going to take you through some breath work, which is going to help enhance that body space. Linda or Christy, would you like to say anything about body before we begin?
I will come in. Welcome, everyone. Love seeing faces show up on our calls. So thank you. Sometimes I think the most challenging thing when we go into overwhelm or reaction response, we forget to realize or understand that we can interrupt that loop that happens in the mind and the shut off in the body. And that's our intention today, is to offer a resource for that interruption, to access again the intelligence, which is your body. It's not just our heads, it's the intelligence that connects to the body, to the mind, to the heart, and have it work together, instead of sometimes the tendency to force, to push through it, to ignore it, to do all the things that we do to distract and not feel. And our bodies are all about energy and movement of that. And that's really what this course is about today, or this call, is moving and working with that energy that is held within us.
Thank you, Christy.
Mm-hmm.
Linda.
So welcome, everyone. So the only thing that I'd like to say additional to that is the mind and the body can have two different stories, two different experiences. And quite often we're very familiar with the mind's concept of reality, and we forget to listen to the nuances that exist within the body sensations. So as we start to look at the processes, information comes through the senses. So we're looking at leaving, like things exiting through the senses as well, which is where the body work, body processes, body awareness comes in. And it can make a significant difference in a shorter space of time. It doesn't have to be years and years and years. It can literally, with comprehension and with body awareness and movement, can really move that energy out of the body. So I hope you enjoyed today's processes.
Thanks, Linda. And you can think of the body as the helipad for, I guess, the soul or the spirit. It needs to come down and it needs to feed itself and weave itself down into and through our flesh, our body systems, in order to reach out into the world. but also draw in on the world, because as we take life in, it also becomes our sustenance. So what I'm going to do is actually take you through a body scan. So we're going to take a moment to be able to look at and connect with each and every part of your physical body. So what I'd like you to do is get really comfortable. Settle into whichever chair you're in. If you want to lie down, that's totally okay. If you need cushions to prop you up to be able to maintain comfort, please do. I want you to close your eyes for a moment. And with your eyes closed, I want you to be able to look up, and then I'd like you to look down. So with your eyes closed, looking down. So you're looking down into your body. And we're going to slowly move through your physical form. I'd like you to bring your awareness to your toes, all 10 toes. Give them a little wriggle, say hi, find a way to stay in touch with your toes. All 10 toes all at the same time. Let your attention go all the way down there. From your toes into the balls of your feet, the soles of your feet, into your heels. Let your feet become an anchor. Yeah. Both feet inside and outside, all at the same time. Keeping that awareness in your 10 toes and your feet, and connecting to your ankles. Letting your ankles express to you how they are. Allowing the bones of the ankle space to relax. Moving from your ankles up into your calves and your shins, your lower legs, your 10 toes, your feet, your ankles, your calves and shins, outside and inside. And even if you can't notice outside and inside, just notice that. Coming up into your knees, both knees, the back of the knees, the sides of the knees and the kneecap. Feet, ankle, calf, shins and knees, outside and inside. Bringing that awareness, connecting the awareness to your thighs, the thigh bones, and the hip bones, outside and inside. Your entire legs, from your toes to your hip bones, outside and inside, into the pelvis itself. The pelvis, your belly, moving up into your ribs, your chest, connecting your pelvis with your lower back and your spine, all the way up into the shoulders, your entire torso, outside and inside. Moving that awareness into your underarms, from your underarms down into your fingertips, all 10 fingers, all at the same time. Your wrists, your lower arms, your elbows, and your upper arms. Both arms in their entirety, outside and inside. Up into your shoulders and your neck. Taking a moment with the neck, an important point of communication, taking a moment with your neck. Your face and your head, outside and inside. Let's take this moment to connect to your entire body, your toes and legs, your hips and torso, your underarms and your entire arms down to your fingertips, your shoulders, neck, face, and head, outside and inside, all at the same time. Your entire form, outside and inside. Get you to take a nice deep breath. With staying connected to your body, you can slowly open your eyes. I hope people were able to notice how some parts of your body might feel easier to connect with than others, and whether you're able to stay connected to those places and spaces. Each space and place nominates a stream of strength in us. The clarity of that strength is the clarity of my relationship with that part of my body. From this moment, I'm going to introduce Christy, and she's going to take this journey a little further with some inner child experiences. So we're going to collect some innocence and expand on that.
Thank you, Sean.
Christy, just before you start, it might be worthwhile if you want to just make a note on anything that came up in the process that Sean just did. Beautiful process, Sean. Just to be aware of what Sean was saying around the areas of disconnection, because that might be an area later on, particularly as we go through, that you can come back to. Thank you.
Thanks, Linda.
Thank you, Linda. So staying in this space, I am going to have you close your eyes again, if you're comfortable with that. And welcome to this place, this home called you. This body that houses all the memories. The cells, the blood hold memory. And it houses the place where you belong, which is right inside of you. And as you breathe, I'd like you to begin to notice your hips as you're sitting. Let your belly soften and place your hand on your belly and place one hand on your heart as we go into this place of belonging. There's a part of you that never stopped longing to be seen, not for what you do, but who you are. And begin to notice the breath as you come into your own temple space, your body. Notice it go in and notice it go out. The giving and the receiving of the breath, bringing consciousness to that. Surrendering on the out breath, receiving on the in breath. Now I'd like you to imagine a doorway in front of you. And this isn't just any door. It's a sacred threshold that opens up to a memory, a place inside of you as a child. And it's a safe place, a remembered place. And I'd like you to allow the door to open and step inside that door. Finding yourself in a warm, radiant space with light. Begin to feel perhaps what it feels like to be in the space, what it might smell like, sound like, look like, whatever sense you're able to attach to. Allow the details to begin to come in this sacred space. the inner sanctuary of your heart. And in this place sits your inner child, this little one, the one who continues to wait patiently for us to return, more often than not, to remember our innocence, to remember play and creativity and freedom. Now, this little one may be playing or drawing, singing. Begin to notice, what is your little one doing? How are they being? And as you notice, allow your presence to come in next to them without saying anything, without startling them. Just bringing your presence in, allowing them to be aware that you're aware of them. Let them feel your presence without saying anything. And allow them to look up at you as they notice you, looking into their eyes, seeing that innocence that's held there, full of wonder and curiosity. And in your mind's eye to say, I see you, little one. You belong with me, little one. You are safe with me. You belong with me. I am the one, the adult, the sovereign who holds you today, who welcomes you today into my heart, who sees you today. And I would like you to ask them, what do you want me to remember about you, little one? And it may come as a visual picture, may come as a sound. What do you want me to remember about you, little one? Letting the answers rise, trusting what comes to you. There's no right or wrong way. We're here to witness that little one that sits right inside of our heart space, that waits for us to notice. Patiently waiting. Now imagine wrapping them in a soft blanket of light, holding them close to your chest, feeling your heart beating next to theirs, and whisper, I've got you, little one. You are not alone. And I will always come back for you. And allow that to begin to soften into your heart, into your body, as we bring presence to the adult self and the innocent child self. And when you're ready, take another deep breath, seeing that beautiful child and telling that child, thank you. Thank you for reminding me of my innocence. Thank you for reminding me of this message that you had. And take a nice deep breath again. And on the out breath, allow your hips to relax and your belly to relax. And very softly and gently, letting your eyes open. Coming back into a more integrated awareness of self and little one. And I would like to share that whatever came into you, the gentleness that we have with the child in how we speak to a child, how we engage with a child is gentle. Or a child gets frightened if we tend to not be aware. We can do that to ourselves so easily. And it's helpful to have a picture of you as this little one that you saw in your head, if you can get one. Print it out so you have a physical copy and put it by your bedside or in your office, somewhere where you can see it to remind you of your innocence, to remind you to be gentle with that little one. They always exist in us. And when we can be more gentle with ourselves first, then we can offer gentleness to another and to see who we are and see that innocence and connect and feel with that little one again. It creates a great capacity for compassion for another when we can see them in a different light, as we see ourselves first in that light of understanding and compassion and gentleness, especially as we continue to grow in this world and experience all of the things that are coming at us. The work and the practice is to once a day look at that little picture and say, I see you, little one, and put your hand on your heart and know that they are present and they're waiting for you to see them. They're waiting for you to check in and slow down internally once a day and connect with that. Thank you, everyone.
Just beautiful. Makes me want to whisper so I don't necessarily startle any innocence within each of us. So we'll take this moment now to move across to Linda, and Linda will now create some sustenance with our breath.
Thank you, Sean. That was lovely, Christy. I apologize in advance if my voice goes a little bit. So hopefully it will be absolutely fine for this next couple of processes. So this one is an exercise to do with the breath. And of course, breathing is such a natural part of life. But I don't know if you've noticed so many different people that you visit that talk about breath work, talk about like the diaphragmatic breathing. Maybe you should be doing box breathing. Maybe your in breath should be longer than your out breath, or vice versa. And there can be quite a lot of confusion around breath work. And I personally believe that each of us are slightly different in what our needs are. And some of the exercises around breathing are purely that. They're about exercises to work out what your body actually needs in relationship to resetting your breath. So this exercise that I'm going to do with you is purely that. This is not how you breathe on a regular basis. This is something you might like to do once a day. It only takes a minute or two. And it's a really beautiful, just a reset and to notice how you're breathing. So the first thing I'd like to do, we're going to go back to the hand position that Christy very kindly just did with you as well. One hand on the chest and one hand on the stomach. And I'd like you to connect with your breath and just notice, does your hands move? Do you notice that your chest moves more than your tummy? Or perhaps neither of your hands moving? Just to notice. And what I'd like you now to do, just drop your hands for a moment. Just hold them in a nice relaxed position. And as again, you become aware of your breath, I'd like you to become aware of your rib cage. So is your rib cage moving as you breathe? Just to notice. There's no right or wrong. It's just to notice. And in that noticing, I'd like to invite you to further notice. Is it easier for you to take in air than it is to release air? Is the in-breath easier than the out-breath? Or perhaps you find the out-breath easier than the in-breath. Of course, it could be something that you don't find challenging at all. So just to notice. So we're going to do 2 styles of breath work. And the first one is concentrating on the in-breath. So what you're going to do is you're going to take in a breath. So if you can imagine the breath, you're going to do some short, sharp little breaths. And each breath is going to add to the next bit. So if you're looking at a container, you might be starting at the feet like we did during Sean's meditation. And imagine the first bit of air fills the feet up. So it's like, and then the next little bit of air goes a little bit up to the ankles, then the knees. So it's one breath. And you just keep slowly going up the body, filling your whole body with air in really short, easy bursts of air. And when you feel like you can't take in any more air, then you just release it as a nice, easy breath outward. So I just want to start with you. I'm just going to use my hand as I do it for myself. You can either watch me or just tune into your own body, which I would suggest, but you're welcome to watch me as well. So in breath. We're going to do this about 5 times. So in your time, I'd like you to do 5. So I'm doing my next in breath. And out. So just finish off that last breath and just take in a breath as you normally would. You might already notice something different about your breath or not. And the next breath we're going to do, you're going to take in a normal in breath and you're going to let the out breath out in much the same way. So little short spurts of air outwards. So it's going to be breathing in. And you continue that for about 5 breaths. So you breathe basically out as much breath as you can breathe out so that your body's ready for a nice big inhalation. One more breath. And now just take a normal breath in and out. And the in-breath is how we receive. It is about the nourishment. The out-breath is how we let go of things. So it is symbolic in psychosomatics to attitudes that are there. And I'd just like you to notice with that exercise, does your breathing feel any different? If you want to put something in the comment or make a comment, feel free. Does anyone want to share how you experienced that, if you noticed any difference? Okay. So the next part we're going to do is we are going to shuffle forward a little bit in the chair. Al, I noticed that your chair is on wheels, so please be very careful in regard to shuffling forward. In fact, just for you, you can settle nicely because you're on wheels. And thank you. We've got a couple of comments in regard to the breath. Much more awareness of air in my body. My in-breath was easier and softer. Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Christy. Wonderful. Beautiful. Okay, so in this next process, I'd like you to take a look at, as you come forward, your feet being really stable on the ground. And so long as your feet are reaching the ground, Al, it was a goodbye from Al. Okay. So as you're standing there with your feet on the ground, what I'd like you to do is just, if you're able to, just notice the back of your neck and just to feel how your neck is currently feeling. Yep, so you might like to just touch it, get a sense of the curve that's in the back of your neck. Any tension that's there, not to change it, just to actually feel with your hand how that feels at the back if you can. And then with the other hand, put your hand on your lumbar and just feel the lumbar curve. So with your hand on the lumbar still and one hand at the back of your neck, I'd like you to look up to the ceiling and notice as you look up to feel the sensation of your lower back and notice the movement. And then bring your nose down to the ground and just to notice what happens in terms of contraction and expansion in those two areas of your body. Okay, so just nice little movements, gentle, small movements are best. Yeah. Okay, so shake that out, come back to neutral, and just very gently put your neck over to the left-hand side of the room and just notice any restrictions. Just go nice and slowly. And then go to the right-hand side. Come back to middle. And then I'm going to get you to get your hand on your sternum. Place the second hand on the sternum. You're going to press slightly in and up. And release. So on the in-breath, press in and up. And release. One more time. Press in and up. And release. Now we're going to do one more time, but as we do the press in and release, what I'm going to get you to do is to very gently tap your heel onto the ground. So the balls of your feet remain constant on the ground, but the heel is going to lift up ever so slightly. So if someone was sitting next to you, they may not even notice that your feet were moving. So tiny, slow movement. So press in and up and bounce the heel. And again, bounce, bounce. Like a heartbeat, pum, 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 pum. Last one, pom, pom. Okay, and let go. Just notice your breath in your body. And then you're going to put your hand, and your hand's going to come behind your neck, fingers together. And you're just going to feel the vertebrae. If you can put your thumb on the front of your neck and the other 4 fingers just supporting the cervical on the back of your neck so that your index finger is resting against that little hump, T1. Yeah. And now you're going to spread your fingers just ever so gently apart. Just get that feeling of spreading those fingers and releasing. And you're going to spread them apart on the in-breath. And release. The out-breath comes out. One more time. And relax. Okay. And when they're open, the fingers open, you're going to bounce the heels just gently again. Pom, pom. Pom, pom. Pom, pom. And relax. As you're sitting there with your pelvis, and you could possibly feel the sit bones and the buttocks. Yeah, I'd like you to now take a look at what is your hips doing. And by pressing into your heel, you might notice that you can adjust the movement in your lumbar just ever so gently. I'd like you to go as slow as possible. So press into the ground with your heels. And you might notice that your spine could go more elongated. And then rock the pelvis forward and notice that you might have more of a hollow. So this is really gentle. So as you're doing this gentle rocking movement, I'd like you to find neutral. And in neutral, you're going to have less of a hollow and less of a straightening. So again, you're going to put your fingers together, and at the back of your spine, you're going to open your fingers up. And gently, at the same time, move your heel off the ground. Pom, 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 pom. Okay. Great. Now notice the way that you're sitting and breathing. And is it any different to how you were sitting and breathing before? That might be a no, it could be a yes. Just to notice the body sensations, the body feeling. And what I'd like you to do now is just to again take your neck to the left and then take it to the right. And notice if that process is now smoother than what it was before. Great. And it's just an awareness, taking a look at your posture while sitting. It's about becoming aware of racking and stacking and how you actually do rack and stack, because it's important in the psychosomatics that you're supported by your structure. And as we come up to standing, of course, sometimes the head comes forward, and all of that plays a really important part of how we experience ourselves. Any kind of contraction or expansion in areas that are not supported by the skeleton get supported by the muscles. And the muscles then start to hold attitudes. And we take a look at the attitudes that are held in those parts, and it starts to become part of the personality. So if we can release tension by supporting the body to be supported through the skeletal system and the breath, then we're really starting to come back to the basics of movement and being supported with the feeling of internal support with our bodies. So I hope you enjoyed those processes. Okay. And Pam has written,
Thank you, Linda.
thank you. Not as much pressure on my left side of my neck. Great, Pam.
Mm.
Thank you. Leanne has written above, I always find the out breath a bit harder. Thank you for the extra air in. Cool. Thank you.
Mm.
Okay.
That's
Wonderful, Kay.
a slow, steady focus today. Does anybody have any questions they'd like to ask with regards to their experience with their body today? So often connecting
Mm.
has too many agendas attached to it rather than simply the experience. And especially when we introduce the little one today, the encouragement of experiencing enables the release of what's within us.
Mm.
Thank you, Pam. The inside of her body feels relief and calmness.
Beautiful.
Louise.
And Linda, did you see Kay's? She'd like to understand the movement of the heels.
Yeah. Okay. In psychosomatic language, the heel relates to the base chakra, safety, security, belonging, and it also represents part of the nervous system. So in actually bouncing the heel slightly, it assists the nervous system doing a bit of a reset. And at the same time, you've also got, in terms of blood flow, where you actually start to do bouncing when you're under stress, it can actually, the circulatory system can be somewhat distressed, same as the nervous system. So that actually does a bit of a reset and allows like the lymphatics to start pumping a little bit more as well. So it's a combination, but the psychosomatic language, if you think nervous system, base chakra, and really coming back into balance with that. Thank you.
And also drawing attention from the top of our bodies to the lower part of our bodies. It's also creating an actual connection between our upper self and our lower self. Oh, Leanne.
I felt like I lost my inner child when my mother passed away 2 years ago. This morning I reconnected with her. Beautiful, and brought her home to me. Thank you, Christy. Yeah, very special, Leanne. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. That tenderness, to reconnect to that tenderness helps us be more gentle in so many aspects of our life, even in the grief aspect. So thank you, Leanne.
And the event of adult relationships, especially.
Yeah. And the inner child is such an important part to work with and healing, because, you know, as we've mentioned many times, the body still retains memories that are very young, and the memories for the body are like yesterday, even though they're decades old. So the mind can understand that it's decades old and justify, but the body, it's like it was yesterday. It's like it's now. And that's why the inner child work is so, you know, it's such an amazingly effective tool to work with.
Yeah, I think it's one of the most important pieces, because it is our innocence that part of our life path is to come back to that and hold both as a sovereign adult being, to honor and respect the child within us and protect. Love you, Sean. Goodbye.
Love you very much, everyone. I shall speak with you very soon.
Okay, so in the next class that we're going to be doing, or the conversations, we will go a little bit more into exploring questions. So if you've got specific things that you would like some insight into around the somatics, around basically areas that you feel like you don't yet have answers or comprehension, you can either send your questions in advance. And even if you're watching this recording and months has gone past and you've missed next month's as well, please, we are doing these every month. So even if you miss the next month and you're listening to this and go, hey, I'd really like to have some awareness, we can include your questions in future psychosomatic conversations. So please feel free to, to always just drop a message and say, hey, I'd love some insight into this, whatever that may be.
Yep. It's always nice to hear from all of you and continue to create the community for this. So we have resources that we can use when needed. And thank you everyone for coming today. So lovely to have all of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What does Jackie say? I hadn't physically felt with my hand, my forward hand before at the neck base. Yeah, great, Jackie. It's a really beautiful one to just to become aware of, because that can change quickly with the awareness. Thank you.